Now, we just saw a really awesome ZVZ, as I said, Mules versus Beetles, basically the biggest meta game in Zerg versus Zerg right now. You oftentimes don't see anything but that right now. But a really awesome play from both those players. I feel like the advantage really just came down to Metzelmatz able to defend against any kind of aggression that his opponent did while getting a much, much faster layer tech. And that allowed him to get his Spire much quicker. That allowed him to get out his Mutalisk before his opponent. And by doing all of that, his Mutalisk count was just consistently higher. He was able to harass the third, and even though his opponent originally had an economic advantage in having that slightly more delayed lair tech, unfortunately, when you have Mutalisk in your base killing off your drones, you lose your economic advantage. So Metzelmatz was able to take game number 3, and this is going to bring the series 2-1, as I said before. And, I mean, it's still seriously anyone's game right now. And I just want to quickly note, how awesome is it that I'm not lagging anymore. I'm super happy about that. And with that being said, looks like we're going to be jumping into game number 4. And this is going to be the Rage Kage representing Team Amazon versus Terran representing Team Storm8. And it's funny because it's not his... I mean, okay, Terran is Terran's race, but his name is also Terran. I mean, I'll show you right here. His name is Storm8 Terran. So being ultra confusing, but I have to give him props, okay? I have to give him some props because there are a lot of players that seem to like just being very ironic with their names. There's Toss Girl, the Korean player who played in Brood War. She did not play Protoss. She played Terran. It frustrated me. I think there was a pro player that was named Protoss that played Zerg. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This guy, Terran, I can get behind this. I can get behind this because he's not trying to fool you. I play Terran, and my name is Terran. It's a good name. It's a good name. But with that being said, the game is going to go ahead and get started. The map is going to be Whirlwind LE, and it's going to be a random versus Terran. Oh, this is going to be super interesting. Rage Kage from Team Amazon playing random, and Terran from Team Storm8 playing Terran. Let's go ahead and jump in and let these players load. Alrighty, let's find out. We have the players spawning over here in the top left-hand corner of Whirlwind LE. We have the red Terran player representing Team Storm8. It is none other than Terran. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner as the blue random player spawning as a Zerg player. It is going to be Team Amazon's The Rage Kage. And Chashway, one of Team Amazon's players, just noting, oh, Rage Kage, he was supposed to go for a 6 pool, but he forgot. No, I don't actually think that would be the best idea. As I mean, it'd be a very mind gamey thing, just because this map is so big. Whirlwind LE allows for all 4 of the spawn positions, so you could just get super unlucky, scout your opponent very, very last, and your 6 pool would just be so ultra late and delayed. But I mean, some Terran players do like to take advantage of stuff like that. They like to go super greedy because they know, hey, it's probably not going to be a cheese because, I mean, what are the chances they're going to scout me in time? And they could actually get punished if they're just unlucky. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case, though, and that kind of excites me because we're going to be seeing an awesome game as Rage Kage getting up to that nice little 14 or 15 drone count. And in the meanwhile, looks like Terran just going to go ahead and throw down that barracks. We'll have to wait and see. Is he going to go ahead and grab a gas geyser? Yep, going to be seeing that gas geyser, and this could actually be a Reaper opening. Now, Reaper openings, very, very frustrating for a lot of Zergs to deal with. I don't know if you guys are friends with a lot of Zerg players who have to deal with Reaper openings, but it really is frustrating because if that Zerg player does not open up with speed Zerg lanes, they don't end up getting that early gas geyser, then what will end up happening is that Reaper will just end up kiting drones and Zerglings for such an unbelievably long period of time until those queens are finally able to get out. And they can actually get quite a few kills, especially if the Terran player does decide to do something really cheeky, like throw down a bunker that allows the Reapers to actually retreat over to the bunker that allows them to deal actually a good amount of damage even to the queens. And I mean, you could always salvage a bunker, get back 75 minerals. We'll end up seeing how much Terran actually decides to commit to this. Is he's going to end up scouting his opponent second, as probably will the Rage Kage. But, oh, looks like we're getting a little bit of lag. Hopefully that's not me. If that is me, I profusely apologize, but it looks like everything is cleared out for now. And ooh, the Rage Kage actually has gone for that Gas Geyser. So if this is some sort of, or if this was going to be some sort of Reaper opening, it looks like it's not going to be anymore, as Terran's just going to go ahead and add on a Tech Lab and add on a second barracks. So we're not going to be seeing an expansion being thrown down just quite yet, as this is going to be a very, very aggressive build, and those speed Zerglings are going to become so insanely useful for that. And ooh, getting an Evolution Chamber, this is interesting, as I mean, he's going to have that Evolution Chamber finish up in time for him to actually go for +1 Carapace or go for speed Zerglings, and I'm really curious to see what he ends up going for. It looks like it's going to be, oh wow, +1 melee attacks. Is this going to be a Baneling bus? I think this might be, and we're going to see this drone come over here. He's going to get fired at by that poor little Marine who's just sitting behind that wall. Hates drones, absolutely hates wildlife, and oh my god, the drone actually got in, the supply depot got lowered, and he ended up he should know that there are at least 3 barracks, but oh my god, this is actually going to be so interesting, because I feel like both of these players are going for very all-in style of play, very aggressive builds, as we end up seeing one guy left in that Gas Geyser. This is super interesting. Oh, actually, no, 2 guys left in the Gas Geyser. I was also going to say, he's probably going to be throwing down that Baneling nest very soon, and going to be going for some sort of Baneling bust, but his opponent is actually just going for 3 barracks and a factory. So this could be some sort of crazy stim plus a Widowmine push. I don't even know. There's so many different possibilities over here, as a second Tech Lab and a reactor are going to be finishing up soon. And I mean, what is going to be going on? Only time will tell. We do not end up seeing a Baneling that's actually being thrown down just quite yet. So just going to be getting Zergling speed. And I feel like this is not working out super well for the Rage Kage. He probably wanted that the Terran opponent to be going for some sort of expansion. He'd be able to deny that, but with this wall, and I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to break that. We actually don't even have a command center on the way. We have a starport on the way, in fact, and a Widowmine. So the Widowmine actually should be very effective against all of those Zerglings that we're going to be seeing out of the Rage Kage. And I'm curious if the Rage Kage is just going to be trying to transition out, as I mean, we end up seeing he's going for a Baneling nest now. So this is a very iffy situation. Going for a Spore Call. This is kind of interesting. What did he actually end up seeing? He hasn't actually ended up seeing anything that I think would indicate that there was going to be Banshee play. I guess the Spore Call actually, on second thought, it makes sense now. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit slow right now, but of course the Spore Call is just for the Widowmine detection. Doesn't want Widowmines to just land over in his mineral line, and that is something that kind of makes a lot of sense. And we're actually going to be seeing Widowmines out and the Medevac out as well. So the Widowmine might very well just get picked up and sent over, try and drop over in the main base while doing pressure at the natural expansion. Gonna wait and see if that's gonna be the case, as both these players just playing super defensive, and Rage Kage now finally going for that 3rd expansion. So finally looking like he wants to transition out, just gonna be utilizing the fact that, hey, I got +1 melee attacks. That's gonna give me a little bit more control on the map. Maybe if my opponent decides to try and do some sort of push out, he should be in a much better defensive position. So he feels safe. Hey, I can go ahead and take this 3rd. I know that my opponent was at least going for a 3 barracks before command center sort of style play. So he should be in a good position. But we're going to see double drop loaded up and speeding away. Just wants to get to his opponent's base as fast as humanly possible. Or Terranly possible. I don't even know. But look at this. This is such a large army out for the Rage Kage. And oh my god, morphing more Banelings. Now here is going to be a really interesting thing. Is the Rage Kage going to be trying to move out and put on some aggression? Because if he decides to move out, he's going to be so out of position. He's going to be just taking so much damage right now, as, I mean, really, he doesn't have a whole lot of defenses. Yeah, he has a single Spore Caller. He's going to be able to scout out the Widowmines, but oh no, it looks like he actually knows exactly what's up. He's going to keep all these units over at home. He's going to be prepared. The Overlord should be spotting this Medevac drop, and he's actually going to be able to come in. The Medevac should be picking up all these units right now. Oh no, he's not picking up the units right now. He's going to be losing so much, as now we finally end up seeing quite a few of those units lost, as actually 6 supply actually ends up being lost over there. And the Widowmine does manage to burrow over there. Additional Marines and Marauders actually end up getting taken out. And the poor Widowmine going to be trying to make his way over to... Wow, that is the most ballsy Widowmine possible. I'd love to see the Spore Crawler maybe just move over here and just take that out. But in the meanwhile, we're going to be seeing an attempt at dropping over the 3rd. But no, the Rage Kage is completely on top of that. And Terran looking like he's having a bit of a difficult time trying to do a lot of this damage. Now, he is actually taking a natural expansion behind all of this. So, I mean, he's not in a terrible position right now. He does have that, so he can actually start to transition out. But still, I feel like he's just not doing quite as much damage as he would like. Now, he's doing some nice damage over here. Gonna weaken up and soften up that third hatchery and just be very annoying. The most important thing right now, I think, is just that he is taxing the Rage Kage's APM right now. Even if he has not been able to kill a lot of those workers, he's been able to force out a lot of these units. And again, he's taxing, could actually be delaying larva injections. We can see this queen over here building up a bit of energy. But I mean, overall, I don't think this drop has been super duper effective. And the nice thing though, Terran actually scouts out that the Spire is on the way. At least if he is not mistaking that for a Spore Crawler, because I've seen players time and time again see this building Spire and they think, oh, it's just another Spore Crawler. He's probably just preparing for some sort of defense. Now, hopefully he doesn't think that, and he's going to be preparing for the Beetles. And yes, Terran is a fantastic player, unlike me. He's going to be preparing for the Beetles, throwing down those missile turrets, and needs to get up some missile turrets over that natural expansion, as that's going to be a very, very vulnerable location right now. As, I mean, the Rage Kage, even though he doesn't have as ridiculous of a drone count as he likely would like right now, he still has 3 bases, and that's going to allow him to mine off of his 5th and 6th gas geysers as soon as he wants to, and that's going to allow him to get up a very large Mutalisk cloud. So we'll end up seeing how well that's going to work out for the Rage Kage, or if Terran is just going to have a really good positioning, as really with +1 weapons against a +0/+0 Mutalisk, he could be in a very nice position to actually fend off all his Mutalisks. I mean, he has 2 missile turrets sitting over in his main base, could just plop down his Marines over to his natural expansion, especially with Widow Mines. Oh, Widow Mines, a very, very scary prospect for a lot of Zerg players. And now they do end up having to keep those overlords, or overseers I should say, with their Mutalisk cloud. They need to make sure that they don't run the Mutalisks into those Widow Mines, because those Widow Mines will just one-shot each Mutalisks and then do a ton of splash damage over to all the remaining Mutalisks in the cloud. And the Mutalisk actually, surprisingly enough, just going to go ahead and back up. I guess he sees that there is quite a bit of a defense. He can see the missile turret, he saw the Widow Mine, and probably just going to say, you know what, no, I have committed my opponent to being very defensive. I'm just going to go ahead and retreat and stop the Mutalisk production entirely, and I kind of like that decision. He sees, you know, why take a chance that you're not going to be able to do any damage, and basically just end up sacrificing those Mutalisks. Those Mutalisks can be very useful for at least dealing with some of the drop play, even if you only have 4 Mutalisks. 4 Mutalisks will still end up attacking a medevac if there is that drop inside your base, and they're very, very mobile. So keep them alive, utilize them for what you need, and go ahead and just transition out. Now he's going to be going for the +2 melee attacks as well as the +2 Carapace upgrade, and just adding on so many Zerglings. This is going to be a very, very scary army, but I feel like maybe getting a couple more Banelings would actually be a little bit beneficial considering how much gas he has. But I guess he's going for a Hive Tech, so might be seeing some Vipers coming out very, very soon. Just gonna have to wait and see what exactly the Rage Kage has planned for this game. In the meanwhile, Terran dropping down those mules, getting up those defensive Widow Mines, and now looking like he wants to do a little bit of a push out. Just gonna defend on those Widow Mines to do that good old defense. Now, kind of interesting note is that Widow Mines do splash damage to your own units, so if 2 Mutalisks just decide to come in over here and stand right on top of all of those SCVs, those SCVs would actually just get killed by their own Widow Mine. It'd be super unfortunate, but we're probably not going to be seeing that for now, as it looks like Terran looking to move out. He's moving around the map, but it looks like the Rage Kage is onto it. How much damage is going to be done? There are quite a few actual Hellbats in there, so they're going to be doing a lot of damage over to those Banelings and the Zerglings, but the Zerglings actually don't really need to do a whole lot because the Banelings make the best connections they could possibly ask for. They hit every single Marine, and now the Mules are able to clean up the Marauders. Medevacs having to basically load up the remainder of the army, which is 2 Hellbats, and that is just not an ideal position for Terran. Terran definitely going to be feeling a bit uncomfortable after all of that. So I have to say, Rage Kage looking to be in a very good position in this game. Now he is leading about 15 or whoa, actually now 20 workers, as after winning an engagement, hey, you know that your opponent doesn't have an army, so go ahead and drone up, take a 4th expansion. I'd love to see, yep, 4th expansion is already up. And what can your opponent do at this point? I mean, he doesn't have an army. He's going to have a hard time actually securing that third expansion. Just get up a handful of units like this and just deny that third expansion. I feel like that's going to be the best bet for Rage Kage. And Rage Kage are already using this Overlord to try and do a little bit of denying and delaying by dropping some of that creep. That's going to force Terran to bring some of those Marines over and try and take out that Overlord. Shouldn't be too big of an issue, especially considering it doesn't look like the Rage Kage is actually going to be moving out those units to try and be super aggressive with them. So, in the meanwhile, we do have our Hive Tech finally completed. We have 2 Ultralisks on the way. And those Ultras going to be soon to have chitinous plating as well as +3. So those Ultras are going to be ultra scary. As, I mean, those upgrades have just been working out so well for the Rage Kage. He's been doing them all game long for those melee attacks. And it's going to be paying off very soon. And I'm curious, what exactly is Terran's response going to be? Now, I mean, he has a couple of Marauders mixed in. Marauders are obviously very effective against, you know, that Zerg unit composition of Ultralisks. But you need to have a lot of them. And he's going to continue to produce them. But, I mean, is it going to be enough? His army is very small right now. And it looks like he's just going to be looking to try and do a little bit of aggression right now. But the Ultras have popped out. It looks like the Rage Kage looking for that big old concave. Ultras just being very happy with only Marines left. And +2/+3, I think, or +2/+2, able to clean up all of those Marines, unfortunately, for Terran. Gets completely cleaned up, managed to keep all the medevacs alive at least, or at least most of them, as he needs to retreat with the remaining medevacs. But this is just not looking very good for Terran, as Chai Shui, a Terran player, just saying Ultras Imba. Oh my god, why is Terran so bad? All the Terrans complaining about Ultralisks. Unfortunately, and it looks like this expansion just has absolutely no chance. What are the medevacs going to do? Heal the Planetary Fortress? Not going to happen. Planetary Fortresses, unlike Hellbest, are not actually considered biological, and the Ultras are going to take that stuff down. So now, sitting on +4/+3 upgrades, so that's a +4 armor and +3 weapons. Or I guess melee attacks, I should say, and +3 Carapace going to be finishing up as well very soon. I feel like Terran is just going to be falling further and further behind. Look at this ridiculous Overlord spread from the Rage Kage, literally covering almost every single expansion except for these 2 in creep from those Overlords. And that's going to alert him if any kind of hidden expansions are taken. This is just super duper great play from the Rage Kage, making sure he does not actually end up losing this advantage he has in the game. But we're going to be seeing a drop come over here. Rage Kage looks like he's actually already prepared for it, and scouting the hidden expansion, or I don't even know if it's a hidden expansion at this point. It's just another expansion, and going to be splitting up the drops. I kind of like that, as he should actually be guaranteed to get, gets the cancel off on that hatchery over there. And even though he's going to end up losing the units over in these 2 medevacs, he at least manages to shut down his opponent's economy a little bit. But I'm not sure if you can actually afford to lose any of these units right now. Now, it looks like this is going to be Terran's plan. He's going to load up on a ton of Widow Mines and hopefully be able to get some amazing Widow Mine shots off. Now, Ultralisk tank Widow Mine shots like beasts. I mean, no pun intended, because I guess Ultralisks are basically the epitome of being a beast for a Zerg army. But I mean, I still feel like there could be something that could happen over here if he gets some really good positioning. Maybe position some of these. Oh, actually, position all the Widow Mines over here. He could actually end up burrowing them and take really big shots on all of those Zerglings, all of those Banelings, even eliminating a lot of the mills. Maybe the Marauders can actually clean up. But oh no, actually, looks like alerted to the Widow Mines' existence. But it looks like the Widow Mines don't really care. They're gonna go ahead and get some big shots off. Ultralisks don't give a damn though. Gonna go ahead and clean up that entire army. Only 5 or so, I think maybe 6 units remain inside those medevacs. Gonna be chased down by the Mutilas, and the third is shut down once again. A command center being built over here, maybe looking to turn into a planetary fortress eventually. But it looks like the Rage Kage is just going to be playing this super duper safe. Does not want to sacrifice this game, although I feel like honestly he could just maybe push in, once again deny this third expansion, get up an Overseer or something to take out some of those Widow Mines, and he should be A-OK golden to just move in and attack. And I feel like Terran is basically just kind of buying a little bit of time, maybe just making sure he doesn't have any chance in this game. Just, you know, if you have the slightest chance, why not play it out? It's not like you're really delaying or, you know, taxing your own APM. This is going to be the last game that he has to play unless he decides to play the ace match. So why not just make one of those players a little bit more tired? If they end up going on to play the ace match, hey, they're going to be a little bit more tired for that ace match. And we do end up seeing Rage Kage moving in, storming through, killing off all of those SCVs, and I feel like this is likely going to be GG, guys. I'm not really sure how good your drop micro would have to be to come back and take out all of these Ultralists, but at the same time, we do end up seeing a drop over here, and there's going to be the GVG, obviously, game versus game. Good game coming out from Storm8's player, and we're going to be going on to game number 4 as Team Amazon leading up the series a little bit further now.